Hi everyone. My name is Vanessa Howie. I'm an ACE certified personal trainer. Yeah, I know I'm a little bit far away from the camera, but I believe you should be able to see me and hear me. And one of the reasons I'm on here today is, as a personal trainer, I have noticed throughout my career that even when you see a video exercise from a highly reputable trainer, sometimes even showing the modified version on the video may not be as much of a modification as what the viewer needs. And that's why I'm doing this video series. And I'm going to start with doing showing you exercises. Now, because of copyright protection, I can't play the video in the background, obviously. I can't even have the audio going on a soundtrack. Now, I might be able to do this via YouTube, putting a soundtrack in the background, but you might not be able to hear my voice very well. So that's why I'm not going to worry about having audio music going in the background, is because there may be some copyright issues involved, and I really would rather you be able to hear what I'm trying to tell you for modification purposes, as opposed to trying to bop to the beat of the music. Now, if you're trying to do the modifications, play whatever music you want. I'm not going to know, I'm not going to criticize, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just trying to show you these videos, or these exercises, so that those that may need further modification from what may already be shown, they can do the modification that I'm showing. Now, the first professional that I'm going to be doing the modifications for is for this series here, the 4-day split series. And it has 4 different videos. And it's a higher intensity step, and then it has weight training, lower intensity step, different area of weight training, boot camp, obviously a different area, and then kickbox with a 4th area of strength training. But I'm not going to do it per workout video. I'm just going to demonstrate the modifications of these exercises. And what I'm going to try to do is, in addition to showing you what I did, if it's a little blurry on there, I'm going to type up in the description the 4-day split series and the exercises that I demonstrate in this video, so that it's a little more clear as to what I'm trying to do. The first exercise that I'm going to show the modification for is a regular push-up, and then I'm going to go into the push-up around the clock, which Kathy does at the end of one of her videos in this series. Now, you may have noticed I have a step here. The full height of this step is 14 inches, okay? You can disassemble it. The top part is 6 inches. The bottom part is 8 inches. Stack them together, and that gives you your 14 inches. Now, for those that really need to modify even further than this, I'm going to show you, let me see, can I pivot? Oh, the other way. Okay, I'm going to show you me doing the push-up up against the wall here. This is a very, very, very modified, so if you're having knee issues and can't get down on the floor, you can do this modification. Your hands need to be just outside shoulder width apart. If it's too much on the wrists, then your fists, and put your fists up against the wall. That works as well. You want your arms to be in alignment with the middle of your chest. So you don't want to be up here and you don't want to be down here. Bend at your elbows, out to the side, and then push into the knuckles. Or if you're doing it with the palms against the wall, push into the palms. That's one modification. Now, another modification is to be on a 14-inch step, or if you happen to have, let me adjust this camera correctly here. There we go. Alright. If you happen to have Kathy's Fit Tower, which I see the benefits in having the Fit Tower. It's a highly versatile piece of equipment. You can use the Fit Tower. The higher you go on the Fit Tower, the easier it is. The lower you go with the bar, the more difficult it is. So even if the wall version, if you are not feeling it quite as much as you thought you would, go to the Fit Tower if you have it, and go on level 10 or level 9. But keeping in mind, when you are on this level, you may end up cracking your head on the top of this tower. So, keeping that in mind when you do that. Now, those that don't really have a lot of knee issues, or they don't bother them that day, notice I'm getting assistance from the step to get myself down. So, you can be on your toes to do this. I'm going to be on my knees. Those that have knee issues, try to stay with the Fit Tower if you can, or do the wall version. And so you have your hands on the corners here, elbows out, push into the palms, the same as on the wall push-up. And if you need to progress it a little further, then you go down here, and then here. Now this is still a modification, but this modification is often shown in Kathy's workouts, and in a lot of other instructors' workouts as well. But I happen to be demonstrating some modifications of some of the workouts that Kathy does, some of the exercises that she performs. So, okay, now the push-up around the clock. Now, for those that can't get down onto their knees, you can either do all the push-ups up against the wall or do them on the Fit Tower. It's perfectly fine. One modification, or one thing that I would recommend that you stay with is when she's at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, keep the hands wide as she has them, and on the others, keep them narrow. That's the only other suggestion that I would have for you. Now, if you're having a difficult time and you want to be certain I space these out as a marker for myself. Now, if you don't have this step, you can use a little glider tool. That's fine. To mark the place. And then another glider tool. And so with this one, you can do it 12 o'clock, 1, 2, now I'm halfway between the two, so I'm going wide. Now, if doing this is a little difficult on the knees, you can put the gliders under your knees as well. If you put the gliders under your knees, or any type of cushioning under your knees, if it's a slick contraption, like the gliders, then just be cautious that when you go to pivot, it's going to be free to move around, and you may not stay in the clock parameter location that your little guides or tabs or whatever that you have are set at. So, just a little reminder on that. Okay. The next exercise I want to show you are barbell rows, but I'm not going to use a barbell. Every time I use a barbell, and this is because I have a bit of scoliosis in my back, but also a bit of lordosis, and right up here in the low back, there's an ever so slight exaggerated curve on me. And so whenever I use a barbell, I always feel it in this area, and I never feel it in the muscle I'm supposed to use. When I increase the weight on the barbell, I feel it more intensely in that area. That's why I use dumbbells instead. So, I'm going to be using a set of dumbbells. So for the barbell rows, I'm going to be doing a dumbbell row. And it's very similar to the barbell row, only there's freedom to move. You're not just stationary here and doing this row like this. You can move the dumbbells in and out depending upon what your limitation might be or how you're feeling that day, depending upon everything, you know. So, palms are facing the body, and you want to have the dumbbells ever so slightly outside the thighs. So you try to mimic Kathy's motion when you're doing this, like that. And the next one, barbell squats. Again, I use dumbbells, I don't use a barbell. For those that use a barbell, that's fine. I have no problem with it. If I could use a barbell, I'd probably use one. So, feet hip distance apart. I'm going to show you this from a side angle. Weight in the heels. Now, since I'm using dumbbells, my palms are going to face my thighs, my legs. If you had a barbell, then it will be up here, the way that Kathy has hers. Now you stick your butt out, and then bend your knees, but don't let your knees shoot past your toes. Notice that my toes are trying to pop up a little bit, which is fine. When you find that you're going down and your knees are not permitting you to go that far, or maybe even your hips are not permitting you to go that far, push into your heels to stand yourself up. Going down, pushing into the heels. Now you can look down, and if you notice that you can't see your toes, you've shifted too far. Bring yourself back. Plie squats. This one I can show the front view. And so you want your feet to be wide. I find that the wider I can get my feet, the less it hurts my knees. Put the weight into the heels. Allow the knees to bend. And I'm going to go down right there. Push into the heels to stand up. Now you can do the dumbbells here at the thighs, or you can do it in front with the palms facing the body. But sometimes I find with the palms facing the body, tends to drag down like that. That's the reason I put it right here in that little notch on the quad. Or at the hip flexor, I should say. Keeping the weight in the heels the entire time. And that's how I do my plie squats. Now if it's a traveling plie squat, and then I come up, and I go down, and then like that. I break it up into two separate moves until I know I have the balance to do it all in one. So if you're not sure if you have the balance, break it up into different parts. Don't worry about the speed of the instructor. Just do what you know is safe for you. Deadlifts. I'm going to show you a side view on this one. Okay. Palms are going to face the body. Dumbbells in the hands. I use dumbbells with my deadlifts. Now there are two types of deadlifts, but Kathy mostly uses the stiff leg deadlift, which is fine with me because I have a difficult time doing the bent knee deadlift. So, weight in the heels, shift your butt back, let your hands guide the weight down, feeling the stretch in the hamstring, keeping the weight in the heels. Notice my back is flat, I'm not rounding. Push into the heel to stand. Now if you're just beginning, stop right about here and then push up. When you feel that intense stretch through here, that's when you push into the heel to stand up. Leg press. Now I'm going to show you the leg press exercise using an 8-inch step and a 6-inch step. I'm not going to show it to you on a 14-inch step. So the 8-inch step, I'm going to put one foot in the center. The weight's going to be in this heel that's on the step. This back leg is just to make sure you don't fall over. Push into the heel on the front step. Tap the back foot. So everything that the back foot is doing is just tapping, just to make sure that you're not going to fall over. You can use a band with this, like she does in gym style legs. But if your knee is not permitting even this height, you can still do it with this height. I'm going to do the other leg. You can still do it with this height, and it's not going to be a big deal. The lower the step height is, the easier it's going to be on the knee. That's why I wasn't showing you the 14-inch, because today it's going to be difficult for me to do that since I'm just now getting back into my exercise routine. Pushing the weight into the heel on the step, stepping up, and you should feel it right in here, into that glute, into that muscle that ties the leg and the glute together. That's what gives you that nice definition. I love that. And there's some days when I do this, but I add a super strong resistance band because I really want to feel that work being done, but my knee won't permit massive range of motion like up to here. And so I modify what I need to modify, but I add the extra resistance to make sure that I still feel it where I know I need to feel it. Low plane lunges. Now, I'm not going to show you on an 8-inch step because a lot of people that need to modify, they're not going to be able to modify on an 8-inch step. I'm going to show you on a 6-inch step, and then I'm going to show you on the floor how I modify it. I'm not going to show you with dumbbells, because if you're having a difficult time getting your balance on a 6-inch step, sometimes adding dumbbells just compounds it and makes it that much more difficult for you. And it's really important to make sure that you have your balance and your coordination set before you add weights into the picture. So this front leg is going to be the one working. The back leg is just adding another layer of stability. Try to keep your weight between the front and the back leg. So you don't want to do this, and you don't want to be way back here, almost onto the step. So somewhere in between. Yes, I'm falling off balance as well when I do this. Most of your weight is in the front heel. The back toe, strictly there for balance. Bend both knees. Push into the heel. Stand. Now, you don't bring the back leg forward, stay here, and then you go back down. Yeah, you caught me. Keep the core tight. That core is that corset for you. And I was noticing I was shifting slightly, so I'm going to keep my hips squared to the front. Okay. Now, when working the other leg, I'm going to show you how you would do it, just like as an elevator lunge. So, even though there's no step in the back, you're still working on the balance and the coordination, which is still critical when you're doing low plane lunges. That's part of the whole key to doing that exercise, is knowing how to get that done. Okay, weight in the front heel, back toe, weight evenly distributed, going down, pushing up with the front heel. Okay. One final exercise, leg press with outer thigh. I'll show you on the 8-inch platform and on the 6-inch platform. Now, I'm not going to add weights into this because, again, it's a balance-focused type exercise. Let me check the time here. Okay, not bad. It's a balance-focused type exercise, so even if these two steps, if the 6-inch step is still too difficult, I'll show you another modification. So there's going to be 3 modifications on this one. So, now on one of the other exercises I demonstrated with this leg on the step, so I'm going to do it with this leg on the step instead, like on the leg press. So on this one, you're stepping out to you're out to the side, so you're not behind it, you're off to the side. Push into the heel that's on the step. Yeah, balance. And that was with no weight, so if you'd had weight, things would have been flying all over the place. It might have not been too pretty. So, weight in the heel that's on the step. Tap, lift, tap, come down. Push into the heel. Like that. Now, I'm going to show you on the other leg on how I would do it on this 6-inch step. If the 8-inch is too difficult, or you just don't have an 8-inch, and you know that you wouldn't be able to do it on the 8-inch step that day. So, weight in the heel. Weight in the heel that's on the step. Good. Lift. There was a little balance going on there. Push into the heel. Lift. Ooh, yeah. Now, if you want to add a challenge with this leg, the way that Kathy does it is she puts an ankle weight on and does that. But I've also found that using an exercise band and hooking it around and holding it up here and doing that, that also adds it without having to add 1-pound increments in the weight. So you still get really good workout in there on that particular exercise, working the outer hip without having to stop and strap on an ankle weight. But that's what I found. So you would take a piece of tubing like this, and I'm going to add this on for the floor-based exercise. Alright, so, and one, this helps to increase the strength in the leg that swings out, and 2, it helps to remind you which leg would theoretically be on the step. So it serves a 2-purpose. So what you do, most of your weight is going to be on this leg though, because you're mimicking it being on the step even though it's not. So what you do is you push down, tap, up, down, step out, and most of your weight. Notice that I'm putting most of the weight on that leg that's on the step. As such. I still felt the work in this leg even though I was floor-based for the whole thing, for that exercise. Alright. it for the exercises that I had planned to show you for today. The next set of exercises I'll be showing you will be ones that Kathy demonstrates on the Body Blast series. So it's either going to be later today or tomorrow. So you may see me in the same outfit when I'm demonstrating those exercises. I'll probably have that video in a two-part series, or in a two-part set. Body Blast series part 1 and 2 on the demos or modifications. Because I'm trying to keep a lot of these videos 30 minutes or less so that it doesn't drag out for an hour for a tutorial or a modification demonstration. Yeah. So yeah, if you like the videos, let me know. And if there's an instructor that you would like to see me show the modifications of certain exercises, then put in the comments which instructor and what workout that they do, and I'll see if I can get my hands on the video, stream it or whatever, and then write down what I can demonstrate on the modifications, and then I'll post it. So I have no problem with that. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye.